But if you would, please stand, and we'll ask Ms. Manning to lead us in prayer.
Our most gracious Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day. And Lord, just thank you for all the blessings that you have given me this week and everybody in this room. And Lord, we just thank you so much for sending your Son to die on the cross for us. And we just pray that the storm won't be too bad, because we know you're in control of everything. And we ask these things in thy name. Amen.
Amen. If you would, stand, we say pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's see here. If you have a cell phone, we would ask that you mute or turn them off for the duration of the meeting. It will be greatly appreciated. All right. All right. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. And Lucy, would you please call the roll?
Michael,
Here.
Eugene,
Here.
myself,
Here.
John,
Here.
Steve,
Here.
Mayor, you have the floor.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Welcome everybody to our monthly council meeting. I ask that please hold comments until the end, until after we complete our business, and we'll open the floor to questions and comments at the conclusion. All right, everybody got face covering, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and read the minutes from the previous meeting.
The regular meeting of Town County Line, August 17th, 2020. Mayor Self called the meeting to order, a regular meeting to order the council at 7 p.m. on August 17th, 2020 in the town hall. The invocation was given by Myrtle Van Cleef. The Pledge of Allegiance was recited by all. The roll call was had. The following persons were present: Mayor Arthur Self, Councilors Myrtle Van Cleef, Eugene Conley, Brandon Lowe, John King, Steve Brewer was absent. The minutes from the July 13th regular meeting, the July 20th, and the July 23rd special meetings were read. Brenda Lowe made motion to accept as read, seconded by Eugene Conley. Motion carried. The financials for July were given. John King made the motion to accept them as given. Myrtle Van Cleef seconded. Motion carried. Under old business, Copper Seal still needs road work. Mayor Self shared the information concerning the charges for moving and setting up mobile homes in the town county line. At this time, they are as follows: moving fee $75, electrical connection $50, water connection $10, septic connection $10. Mayor Self clarified that the street lights are to be paid from the 2 and 7 road fund. There are no updates on the Iowa West versus Mobile lawsuit. The clerk will communicate with the fence company to proceed on the installation of our barrier project. New business, a proposal was received from Alabama Power to upgrade all the county line street lights to LED. A motion was made by Brenda Lowe to allow the mayor to execute this agreement. Myrtle Van Cleef seconded the motion, carried, was unanimous. Mayor Self read an announcement from the Blount County Commission concerning the November elections. The voting precinct at Dallas Southfield Volunteer Fire Station is being moved to Center Springs Baptist Church on Center Springs Road. Notice of this change will be mailed to each precinct voter in the next few weeks. Resolution 2020-003, 004, 005, 006, 007, and 008 were read, declaring the person declared in each one duly elected to the office described therein. Mayor Self presented certificates to each official position. Mayor Self told us that the town is required each year to state its intentions as to how it will use the funds received from the Rebuild Alabama Motor Fuel Act. He offered up Resolution 2020-009. Eugene Kylie made the motion to accept this resolution as read. Myrtle Van Cleef seconded. Motion was unanimous. There were several public comments concerning the much-needed work on Coppersville Road. Mayor Self noted that this would be addressed at the September meeting with Commissioner Walker. A motion to adjourn was made by Eugene Kylie and seconded by Myrtle Van Cleef. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. Respectfully submitted. Richard Chapman closed.
The date needs to be corrected. It's August the 10th, not the 7th. August the 10th was the date.
August 10th was the meeting that we rescheduled to the 17th, according to my budget. That was we were supposed to have. it
Oh,
on
yes.
the 10th,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We rescheduled
You're correct.
because my agenda says 17th.
You're right. I forgot about that. Okay. Any corrections or comments on the minutes as read?
Make the motion we accept them as read.
I have a motion to accept as read.
I'll second it.
All right. Myrtle's made the motion. He's seconded by Eugene. All in favor? All right. Motion carried. All right. All right, let's move on to the financial reports. First up was the general fund account. Our beginning balance was $20,138.29. Ending balance is $19,157.12. All right. The next one, pardon me, is the moving Blount County forward. Our beginning balance was $20,238.26. Ending balance is $20,876.90. And it's $20,876.90. Okay, next up is the 4, 5, and 6 road account. Our beginning balance was $10,956.54. Ending balance is $11,166.83. Next up is the 2 and 7 road account. Our beginning balance was $12,550.20. Ending balance, $12,132.59. Okay, next up, Rebuild Alabama diesel tax. Beginning balance $1,634.54. Ending balance is $1,877.15. All right. Next is the Rebuild Alabama gas tax. Beginning balance is $5,449.31. Ending balance is $6,077.43. And the last one is the Capital Improvements Fund. The beginning and ending balance is $14,909.17. All right, any questions or comments on the financial reports? If not, do we have a motion to accept as read? All right, John made the motion.
I'll second.
And Steve is seconded. All in favor? All right, motion carried. All right, go on to old business. One of our topics is potholes on Coppersville Road. I'd like to spend some time talking about that with Commissioner Washburn in just a minute, because under new business I also want to talk about Smith Mill Road and what we can be doing with that. So I won't take any comments yet on the roads. We'll get that in just a couple of minutes. I do have an update on the lawsuit between Alawest and Mobile Hill. We have received the judge's order dismissing County Line from that suit, so we're no longer a part of that. Okay. Next, I have we gotten any word from the gentleman who's going to do the fencing?
Yes, sir. He said, give it 2 weeks. He felt like he should have the material in, hopefully the next week or 10 days, and he'd be out there. He said, give him 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. All right, next up, any update on the audit?
Audit is scheduled for, the gentleman is scheduled to be here and meet with me on September 28th, 9 o'clock.
Very good.
On that table.
Okay. As the last thing under old business, as I mentioned during the last meeting, the polling place for the Blount County voters that had been voting at the Dallas-Sellsville Fire Department, I did receive notification via mail that the voting location has changed to Center Springs Baptist Church. Everybody should have received, everyone in Blount County should have received this notification. Okay, all right, now we get to talk about roads. I do have a question for you right off the bat. We've got an invoice I just want to know where the mow trimming was done that we got the invoice for.
It should have been called Brazil.
Okay, it doesn't identify where the mowing took place, but 5 hours worth of equipment and labor for Cobbersville.
I can get you a detailed one, get going, something more detailed. Usually we work off y'all's request, so
Yeah. Okay.
that's the last one that I know that y'all have requested was Cobbersville Big Mow Trim.
Right. Yes, we have. When are you going to be trimming County Line Road? I haven't been down today. Has it been cut at all?
No, we're currently on Center Springs when we're getting everything on the right hand side of the highway coming south. So we got Center Springs, we got several roads before County Line, but we are working our way to the county
Okay.
line. And when we get here, we'll get all the roads on the right hand side going back up. So we're working that way. It's just
Okay. All right. I just wanted to ask about it because I just saw it for the first time today, and we just wanted to find out where it was for, and but as I mentioned earlier, what are the plans for Cobbersville and the potholes, particularly the drainage ditch? Where the road washing out.
Before, the same ditch that we've all talked about before, kind of in the middle of the road.
Probably, right there at the foot of the hill.
There was a grate there. Last time I looked, there was still a grate there. Has it been moved? You may know.
I don't know that the grate's been moved, but the grate was off the side of the road, on the side of the road. But that road is washing out.
Well, my question is, since we contract for y'all,
Well, that little stretch right there is not in town of County Line.
okay, where that one is. So we're talking about the start or which one are we talking about?
The
At the bottom of the hill?
bottom of the hill is not in County Line.
It's in that person's front yard, though, right? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Where the trailer is?
Yeah, there's a trailer and a permanent fixed home on top of the hill. That little road where it goes out or goes to the right as you go down that road, that goes out of the town limits.
I mean, we can put a bigger pipe in, but we're gonna have to cut the road. And I don't know where the water lines are or any of the utilities on that road, because I haven't done the work on that road, since I've been in office.
Yeah.
But if y'all like, we can look at putting a bigger pipe in, take care of that, but it is the lowest point right there. From what I remember, on the other side of the road in the pasture, there's really no place for the water to go. So, without getting on private property and having to re-ditch it.
Mm-hmm.
We're faced with that all the time, with these small roads that have no ditches and no places for the water to go. I mean, we can put a pipe in, but if we don't have no place to go, it's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
No matter how big the pipe is. We just get caught in these predicaments all the time.
You don't have a right of way?
Not really.
Restricted.
Yeah. That's ditch to ditch. To the back of the ditch line, to the top of the back of the ditch. So use your best judgment on that one. I'm not knocking nobody, but when they did it the first time, if they would have ditched it correctly and done that, I think that was done in 16, because that's when I ran. They were doing it when I was running. So it hadn't been that long ago. It
No.
should be coming up. But
That's where it seems to be washing the worst. Although the entire road is still in bad shape,
right.
even though it was somewhat worked.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we do the work on Smith Mill, we can run over there and do that pipe and try to get a better ditch.
Okay,
If you don't like that.
yeah, all right. Well, we definitely need to take some kind of action on that particular spot on Cobbers Hill. But we need to work all the way down. But we'll get to that. On Smith Mill, I know it probably late in the season this year for it, but we need to Smith Mill. See what we can get done there, because the potholes have been potholed and potholed, and you cannot drive the speed limit on that road without tearing up your vehicle.
What are y'all, what does the town show for the miles of that road? Do y'all have anything?
Say it again, sorry.
What do y'all show on y'all's maps or anything for the mileage on that road? Do y'all know?
No, I don't. From the stop sign down to just about the substation is in the town limits. I know it goes a little bit further down is Blount County. From there down to the county line. But
Well, the estimate I got was off of, point, let's see. Pretty much a mile, but that's what we're showing. But our information's wrong, because I wrote it earlier today. That's why I was asking if y'all had anything. It shows it's 0.6 miles. The whole thing, from the stop sign to the county line.
It's not 6 miles down.
Point six.
0.6 miles.
Oh,
And,
okay.
over half a mile. And so our system's showing it's 0.6 miles that we maintain,
Right.
and 0.4 that y'all maintain. But when I rode the road, the whole road's 0.6 miles. So that's the reason I was trying to figure out somewhere something's got mixed up. I
Right.
just thought y'all.
Well, I can. When you go down Smith Mill, you know where the substation is at. All right, the fence for the substation that you come to first, that's the county line town limits.
Okay.
It runs that fence line. So from that point down to the county line is outside.
Y'all
Town
gonna
limits.
be looking about $10,000 to $12,000 to do that. If that's something y'all are wanting to do. That's just the rock and the emulsion. That's not counting our labor, our machines, the grader, the rebuilder. That's just to put it back. That's not counting our labor, that's not counting anything other than the material. to put it back.
Cause if they double digit, cause you pay them anyway. You can't charge for like chicken soup.
But we do, I mean, we charge labor for towns,
Really?
like when we do work for Cobbers Hill, there is a labor in that. But it don't matter to me if we charge labor. I really just need reimbursed for the material, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But you're looking between 10 or 12 grand.
Okay.
That's an estimate, so.
$10,000-12,000. All right.
And that's taking that back to dirt, regrading the whole road, doing ditching, whatever we gotta do to make everything flow. And I haven't looked at no pipes, but there's possibly some pipes that's gonna need to be replaced.
I know there's one major culvert right there at Thermal Road that had some major problems several years ago. I don't know that it's still a problem, but I know they had to replace a pipe in it. How long should that road last if you did the work? how long should we expect that road to last once you do if you do the work? I mean, just,
Might last 10 years.
okay,
Not last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say with tar and gravel. I mean, that's 10 years is a stretch.
okay,
But it all has to do with the traffic on it too. I mean, if it's not heavy travel, you might get a little bit more life out of it.
I don't know how, so you have any idea when it was done last?
The whole culverts are rusted, and a car was fixing to go into that one on the main road. So I would say it was 2006, and it was an emergency. And Blunt County came down there, one of the kids did it.
Mhm.
And that other one on Thermal is accident waiting to happen because it's thoroughly rusted through and through. And it's just, needs something done with it too. But you didn't have the traffic that you had there's a lot of traffic on that old road. Where you go
I mean, if we got to, we can change the pipes. We'll change them all at one time, and then when we do come through here chip sealing, we'll shoot over those pipes too.
Well, the one I did should be okay. I mean, those pipes have been there 50, 60 years. But that other one on the Thermal, you need to really look into that, cause if it rusts completely, the car's gonna go with it. And then, hope it's not me.
Nick, you and I need to probably ride these roads and really talk about this. And Steve, get down and look and show you what our concerns are and see what you got to say about it.
That's fine.
Longevity is another thing y'all look at when you look at the price.
Mm-hmm.
How long's County Line Road been done since that bridge burned down? 8 years, 9 years now. It was a piece of crap road when the bridge burned down. That's when they redid County Line Road. I don't know if you live here, did or not. But that was a dirt road, that was a tar and gravel road, and it was a piece of crap. Just like that was a piece
Yeah.
of crap. And, tar and gravel don't last like asphalt. I
Yeah.
know money's an issue, but sometimes you gotta suck it up. And if you just to pave that road instead of tar and gravel that road, it's gonna cost you more now, but in the long run, that road lasts you 20 years. So the traffic amount would be counted.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have big truck traffic on that road.
The town of Locusport, they asphalt all their roads.
Yep.
And pretty much for that reason.
That's right.
Because the life they get out of it.
Pays off.
And you don't even have a sign, you know where ours picks up at. Yeah.
You don't go far down the Test Mountain Road, you did a heck of a job on the bridge, take traffic, but you did a heck of a job.
And you can have the best grader operator, and you can have the best spreader and the best AC layer that you got out there. It ain't gonna last like an asphalt road.
That's, I agree.
And you're looking at 2 years, 3 years, go out these areas, ride that road, it's been done 2 years. It's already getting beat up,
Mm-hmm.
And that's on how heavy truck traffic. They ride heavy truck traffic down County Line all the way down 79 every day. And you got one bad spot coming up the hill, and that's it. So you're looking at 20, 25-year road.
Yeah.
And if that's something that y'all wanna do, is do asphalt inside y'all city limits. You might talk with Mayor Locusport, he is an asphalt salesman.
Yeah.
I guess that's why he asphalts all of their roads, but, they have a good life. I mean, it's costly, but they don't ever go back and do nothing for a long time on it.
What's the difference in the cost?
Yeah,
Significant.
you're looking at.
The difference in the cost, asphalt runs $100 a ton.
Right.
And you're talking about a triax, a load, you're talking about $2,600 a load. And it take about 8 to 10 loads just to do from Jefferson County up, cause I used to run the paving machine. If you put it an inch and a half, it'd take about 10 or 12 loads to do it right. But you gotta go in there and patch all the holes, you gotta go in there with tar and gravel, anyway, to have something for that asphalt to stick to. You can't go out there and throw that asphalt down on them potholes you got down there now. Somebody gotta go in there and do some prep for asphalt. So, you know, I'm talking from experience, 23 years of paving. You cannot put asphalt on Smith Mill Road right now and expect it to hold.
That's right.
Cause it's got to have tar and gravel on it for that asphalt to burn. And Joe, now to tell you right quick, Jefferson County spends millions of dollars on Amoside. The last paving job I've done, it was over $190,000. We had to put tar and gravel down because it was in the spec, Joe Knight will tell you. We put tar and gravel down, we plowed the ditches, we done it all. And you talking about a triaxle load, 26 ton, 27 ton, $100 a ton, figure it up, see how much that's gonna knock into the budget. I mean, I'm just telling you how much it is. But the tar and gravel ain't gonna hold up on these roads around here. And I'm like, you know, it's in my opinion, put tar and gravel down, and you got any money, put asphalt on top of it, and it will be there then. But you can't put no 1 inch, it got to be at least 2 inches. Cause if you ain't got 2 inches asphalt hauling on these log trucks coming out of here, it's gonna do this. I'm telling you folks, I've done been down that road.
Okay,
You have to have a smooth base for asphalt, but you gotta have a smooth base. When you grade it out when he does the tar and gravel, that gives you your smooth base.
Some of the roads we've done, like 13 and Locust Fork, roads like that, we have had to go in and seal them, which is shooting a layer of tar and gravel on them. Or else whatever you have below that, on that old asphalt, that it's called like, people call it reflective cracking. Once here, over the next couple of years, it'll just come back up on that new asphalt. But if you'll go under and seal it, you stop a lot of that.
That's right.
Right.
That's quick.
However y'all wanna do it, I'll work with y'all. If y'all wanna save some money up and asphalt some roads, cause you're not gonna spend a lot of money shooting that just to seal the road up. If you get somebody come in and do some leveling and do asphalt, it's totally up to y'all, but I'll work with you however I can.
all right, let's, plan on getting together with him one day and we'll have a look at it and see. And we'll talk about that some more. But we needed to get an idea of what it's gonna cost us, cause I had no idea, of what it cost to pave a road. And I knew that, our least expensive method would be the tar and gravel. And I frankly was probably leaning that way because that's something that we could probably afford to do
But
fairly
you get
quick.
what you pay for. You get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. But with the limited amount of funds that we get for road work, we have to do what we can with what we got. So, all right. Does council have any questions for Commissioner Washburn about the roads? All right.
Do you have assets to the Jefferson County? It's on Jefferson County side of the line, right? Do you have any ties where Jefferson County would put it down for you, the asphalt itself? He does the tar and gravel, and because Jefferson County runs trucks out of the asphalt plants every day.
Mhm.
They got the machinery. They're down there all the time, different areas. I mean, that's something you should talk to the council person from Jefferson County and make it like a joint venture. Y'all buy the material, they buy the labor and machinery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something to look into, something to think about. He looks familiar. Are you a council person? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's Commissioner Knight.
There's the man to ask right there. Is that
Well, is
not-
the road in Jefferson County or is it in Blunt County?
I think that's on the Jefferson County side of the line.
Well, there's,
But, I mean, am I thinking right logically? Is it something that goes hand in hand?
Well, with our municipalities now, we have through road agreements to where if it's in the municipality, it's the cities. Unless we have a through road agreement. I think the only through road agreement we have with you all is the, where Jasper. I
mhm,
mean, the Warrior.
County Line Road, yeah.
Right, right.
What does it take to get that agreement to get the side roads?
We do those agreements about once every 4 years. And it actually, see, we had thorough agreements for years. We did them in 2002. And then we upgraded them, I take that back, we do them about every 10 years. We upgraded it in 12. And then when we went in the Pope, we stopped it all.
Right.
And after the bankruptcy, then we started putting them back together and we got them back together. So that's kind of, it's an agreement though. So I mean, it's something that we'll look into it. I
Mhm.
mean, if y'all wanna, if it's in the county, no, we can't go help with, Blunt up there.
Right.
Okay.
I understand that. I just didn't know that worked, that's the reason I was asking.
And we did the same thing on Sibleyville. Everybody knows where Sibleyville is. They were at Warrior.
Right.
You know, it's us and Johnny Ragland's. Well, we went through and paved ours, but Johnny didn't. So we went back and helped out. And it's better now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just whatever you can agree to. We'll help anybody we can.
See, there's your labor and your machinery right there.
Mhm.
Y'all come to agreement on that. Then all you're buying is your asphalt. And they'll actually haul it. They got their own trucks.
I think y'all can actually use our bid, probably ours, or if y'all are doing it, use Jefferson County's. I think that's what,
State bid,
and y'all can get it cheaper, I think, than what you were talking.
not state bid.
Now, when y'all, and I'm asking to educate myself and maybe to educate y'all too. When y'all do take over something like that, does that bring in y'all's engineers and everything for the culvert?
Absolutely.
That's what, okay.
Yeah.
See, there's
We
your
will.
answer on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Or if we contract it, then
right,
we inspect it, you know.
gotcha. So,
Okay,
that's a win-win.
But Jefferson County got to inspect the one with the asphalt plant. Then, when they dump it in the harbor, they check the temperature of the field.
That's
And they
right.
got a guy, that's all he does is run behind that machine and check the temperature and all that on it, cause I've been out there more than one time when we was paving. They are a guy from Jefferson County at the asphalt plant, checking it, see if it got the right amount of tire, got the right amount of sand, the right amount of gravel.
Right.
There's a man out there from Jefferson County, who used to be Jack Mitchell. Joe probably remembers him. Might be 20 years
I
ago,
think so.
but that was his job. And had a guy, he told us, he stayed with us.
Buddy, what is the name of this road we're talking about?
Smith Mill. I think
It runs from Bradford Trafford Road over to County Line.
Okay.
So we'll travel.
okay. Anything else on the roads for the moment? Okay. All right, we know about the no trim. All right, I'm just going to briefly mention this. I passed out to the council a proposed budget for a next fiscal year. This is a rough draft. This is not a final budget proposal. But I wanted to pass it out to you, so give you an opportunity to look at it. And at the next meeting, I should have a final draft put together. I'm still trying to determine, or classify some of the revenue streams I'm not real clear on at the moment. As need to verify that before I present a formal budget. Yep. And if you would please review them, and we'll discuss it further at the next council meeting. All right. All right. All right, now it's time to bring back for additional discussion is the proposed ordinance for the town of County Line and mobile home park. I know, I'm gonna open the floor for discussion from the council. What are your thoughts? What needs to be changed? What, do you have objections to? Steve, you had some comments?
I guess it's under site drainage and, environmental, section 4, under D, where it says each mobile home lot shall at a minimum be at least 5,000 square feet in size and have a minimum width of 50 feet. Or at most homes, 16 by 80. So should that be a 80-foot? Better there.
Section 4, D. I have it as E, okay.
Well, he's on
Okay.
the front of the front yard.
I just had to find the right paragraph here. Well, it's a minimum width of 50 feet. And double wide can be up to 28 feet, 30 feet. What's the widest?
Somebody answer that?
Well, technically, a 16 by 80 is a 16 by 76.
76.
Now, you know, do any of y'all live in a trailer?
We have.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have.
Okay. I hate, you know.
That's some minimum width of 50. I guess it could be reworded to have a minimum spacing between.
Well, I would like to ask if anyone's familiar with the International Code of Builders. Have you read it? You know what it is? Well, that's
Yeah.
what this ordinance is stipulating to go by.
Mhm.
And it's about this thing. And it comes down to if you want to, screw into your back door, you have to, it has to be up to code. And I doubt there's a house in County Line that is built, any house, to this code. And I think it's a little unfair to ask that a mobile home, keep this code.
Let's see.
International Code of Builders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so y'all are pulling this stuff out.
It's-
So you don't even have any way to commend what you're trying to do. Fire protection, you have no fire protection.
What services do y'all offer? What services do y'all offer?
about
For the
services?
mobile home park.
For anything.
Well, yeah, for anything.
What do you mean by services?
Well, let's see.
You got fire
We'll
department,
have a fire,
Volunteer,
we'll have
yes.
police.
you got
we
volunteer,
support the fire
that's under county line.
Yes.
Spend a fortune on a
Where's
park.
it at?
Dallas County.
Dallas,
Dallas,
police, traffic, because Warrior comes here more than Dallas.
Yeah, they never,
A traffic.
Traffic comes here,
yeah, traffic.
and it's not even in their district. You have nothing to offer. But that's just when you got old houses and you got old people that ain't got no money, just call y'all doing subdivisions, and y'all got established, that's great. I'm proud for you, but, you know, telling somebody how the, you know, that you gonna come in their house, look at their house after they're living there, that's a violation of my civil rights. And,
It doesn't say anything about going into existing.
well, the stuff that you've got down here, your establishment is not equipped for it. The government's not equipped for it. You know, if I want to have my dogs running around the yard, which I don't own a dog, that's my business, it's my yard. If I want to put up with the neighbor's dog, as long as he's not getting in your garbage and getting into mine, that's my problem. Nobody's ever been to my house. I've never seen a person in this room at my house except for my land. So why do you care what happens at my place? I don't care what you do at your place.
I'm not exactly sure where you're coming from, but I'm not saying,
Dipping into somebody else's business that ain't got nothing to do with that.
you live there already?
I've been there for 20-something years.
Your grandfather in, none of this applies to you. If you bring in a site,
You're trying, this is my, what
I
my
still
mine
got
was, and what you're asking to do is ridiculous, ridiculous. I mean, y'all are having trouble paving the roads here, but you want the park paved.
She's talking about it in here that it says in this paper that, it would have to be brought up to code, which, she'd be looking at $100,000, and I'm sure some of y'all got that much laying around, but we don't. So basically, that would be a showdown, and the most point that she would lose it. And it's been in my family, my parents owned it, and then it's Jennifer's. So my point being is, I've never heard of anyone saying somebody couldn't lease something to the kids, and if they did, it would definitely bankrupt them. I mean, that's grossly unfair. I appreciate what you're doing. I see where you're coming from. But this is like, bringing a howitzer to kill a fly. I mean, it's just over stipulation. And that International Code of Builders, it takes Jesus and all his angels to live up to that. It's unreal. But you need to read it, see where it's coming from. We do need some rules. I'm not saying we don't, but we don't. I can't stand back and be put out of business. I can't. And I can't see where I should be penalized for leaving my daughter a business. You know,
The
but
business was put there
the
with me in mind.
business has been there 60 years. 60. Probably that.
And you talk about maintaining the roads and all, that road that goes into our trailer park up there belongs to y'all up to about 150 yards. And I've maintained that road, so, you know, if we're gonna go that route, I want my 20 years of working that road paid for. You know, y'all got to think about what to do. I ain't being ugly, I'm just being realistic. You affected my life, when she has to pay money more out because she's got to pave roads, put in parking spots. My rent goes up $500 or $600 a month, I'm screwed. I ain't got the money to do all that. That's why I do live in a trailer. So you guys have got to really consider who y'all are affecting. It's not just the see where I'm coming from? I mean, and I agree. I like the idea of everything being nice and clean, but sometimes it just ain't right. So it's just like when that council sat up here and tried to put that dump in here, and I had to run my mouth for an hour and call the governor's office and get a moratorium put on it to stop it. It ain't right. Think about what you're trying to do. Y'all live in homes, y'all have nice places, y'all are established. We're poor. Bottom line, we are poor. We can't afford for her expenses to go up and make our expenses go up. And I've been here 25 years. I come out of Inslee with the rest of the brothers over there, and I feel like I'm going right back to where I was at. Because I'm being treated the same way I treated when I moved out there.
The buddy right now, if you rent bought a new mobile home, put it on a lot, they won't put it on unless it's on a slab. Cause I called FHA office this morning about it. If FHA approves a loan for a mobile home, it has to be on a concrete slab.
I don't see anybody coming to the park over here to the new,
Right.
a brand new
But-
home.
They put stipulations on these new ones, that they got to be on a pad and have to be this and that. But I talked to the lady at the FHA office this morning about it, because I know people trying to buy one, not in this town, they're kind of local for it. And, they, it's just one of those things. But FHA requires a new mobile home will be put on a solid pad. If it had no electricity hooked up, I know like y'all got it. And nothing be done, nobody cannot move in it till it's completely finished. And what they gonna start doing it is, if I buy a mobile home, double wire or single wire, before I can move in it, they gonna send somebody out there to inspect it, make sure it's completely finished, completely wired, septic tank hooked up, the water line hooked up. That's what the lady told me this morning. And that's the plus, okay?
So that eliminates having to do this. And make people who want to work. That eliminates this system, it's all out the window. He just answered your question. I mean, plain and simple. If you can't get a loan, you can't buy a loan.
It's reconsidered some of that, And I know the problem we've had in County Line for years, okay? But we all in this boat together. We all need to reconsider a lot of things that we do. I've had to reconsider some things I've done. It cost me more money. In the long run, we want people to come into County Line, not to leave County Line.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're not going to pass this tonight. We brought it up to discussion because we wanted input. And we've got it. All right. Several things need to be addressed. And
I think 20 years, and like you say, it looked through, and after that, but my house is 20 years old, and it's still looking new today. And it's the same with the mobile homes. If they're kept up and they're done, yeah, that's good. But if they're all ragged and all this, I understand that. But a lot for a mobile home is 20 years. But now, we're up here at the four-way, I know two trailers in there, it's 50 plus years old.
mm,
We don't have trailers. Well,
Well, the thing is though, this has been like this for years. We've had older places in here for years. And there are people that are in here that are new and they chose to move here. They saw this, they knew what it was like when they moved in, and they chose to come here and live, and now they want to change it. I've been here 30 plus years. I moved here too, because I liked it. Because it was peaceful and it wasn't a whole lot of government shoved down your throat. And now here, what have we got? We've got government shoved down our throat. I don't have a trailer on my place, but you know what? If I wanna put one, I'm gonna be able to put one. I bought the land, I worked my tail off for that land. And if I wanna put a trailer on my place, if I wanna put a storm cellar on my place, if I wanna put a travel trailer on my place, I wanna be able to put it on my place. And county line used to be a benefit. This is not a benefit. This last bunch that passed all these permits, that wasn't a benefit. Permit you for, the ones we got out, want you to buy a permit to put a faucet in your sink. I've seen all that too.
I've seen
And-
people go around it.
What we got is people wanting to change country living because they don't understand. And there's people that are just getting by, and there's people that are doing well. Why can't we all just sort of get along and live together?
'Cause like I
Why
told
we
you,
gotta say, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this? It's not fair.
when you
We didn't
come-
vote y'all in for that, we voted y'all in to take care
when
of
you
us.
come up here, I told you, why'd you leave the city to get away from that? Okay, you want Dollar General, you want somebody. You trying to bring the city right in here, where you gonna move?
Well, here's another thing.
I mean, we got people that moved in, built brand new houses, and they're worried, I'm talking about one set, one family. They were fussing about trailers the whole time they moved in and had to drive by a whole slew of them to get to their place before they even built it. Why did you buy the land if it's a problem?
Like
They're
you-
there, they're established, we all know they're there, they've been there. You just go home and enjoy your place.
Some of it eyesore, yeah.
And
It
it
is.
will be gone eventually.
But
It will be gone.
That's part of life.
That's right.
Goes back to this, how would you like it if somebody come along and said, okay, we demand you have 2,200 square foot house or bigger? Think about the other person.
Now, how about,
It's immaterial to me.
how about you can't park your car at your house? You gotta park it
Well,
a mile down the road
look,
and then you have
look
to
at
figure out
your
how to get
own,
home.
look at your own section 4 on your papers and number 3I. This is your paper. You can look at 3G too. All streets should be paved and shall have maintained free of odes and hazards. Well, you know, you can't even keep your roads up. You can't keep this town.
It's taking more out of a trailer park
And,
than.
and now you're gonna penalize a trailer park for not having a perfectly manicured road. I mean, think about what you do. Really and truly.
I think a better way to go about it.
what you do. No, you haven't really, you just copied something out of a book and you're not thinking. I love the idea of things looking good. I love the idea of people having to have an opinion, but leave that up to the landlords and tenants. Don't leave that up to Joe Biden type.
It's never been like that anyway.
We are free people. So, think about, read this, take it to consideration for next month, we'll talk about it again next month. Y'all read, y'all like it, what you don't like, mark it out, mark it in. That's my suggestion.
So I thought this was about anyway, just trying to figure out what's what,
Mhm.
change stuff, you know.
Right.
That's all it was about anyway, wasn't voting on it tonight anyway.
Yeah, well, no, there was never any intention to vote it in.
Right, if you need to teach them that needs, and that way it gives you something to think about for a minute.
Mhm.
I mean, that's all we're at. Cause, I mean, she can't afford it, we can. What y'all are asking in this set of papers here, we cannot afford, she can afford. It's like you said, I don't know if we can put asphalt on the road, I don't know if we got to put, same thing.
You gotta think about something else. This woman had a big heart. She has some tenants, time she pays their water, she goes in the hole, $150 a month.
$100.
Let people go without paying her.
Yeah, oh, we ain't got it right now. They live there 3 or 4 months, goes it hurts her. But she reads her Bible, she knows what God tells us to do. You're supposed to be kind to your neighbor. Treat them like they're your brother.
Well, I know one, and I'm not gonna say his name, because y'all might know his family, but I know one that he got went almost a year without paying rent, and she didn't kick him out. I'd have kicked him out in a heartbeat.
You know, I understand what you're moved back over here, right where I'm at now, but you know, you've been to my yard. Today was a trailer park, below me, right up at Caroline Church. They had electrical wire running through the windows from trailer to trailer to trailer.
That's a big thing.
Huh?
That's a hassle.
Yeah. And the septic tank was all open. They didn't have no septic tanks. They had 55-gallon drums. You knew where you walked in these trailer parks. And I understand what y'all trying to do, okay? And I'm all for it, making things looking good, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with it. But we need to take it one step at a time. And
But let me mention one thing, the guy that owned the trailer park was a councilman at the time, and I was an inspector, and he got mad at me, because I wouldn't have power turned on his own trailer.
And, you know, they know sense and stuff like that going on.
Right.
And I know, God can't even call you name now, but I've been over here trailing me a kind time or two. Hey, whatever he does over that side of the hill, it ain't gonna bother me, because I can't see over there.
Right.
But we got more of a problem than that on these Ferry Road. That trailer park ain't nothing besides what we got on these Ferry Road, everybody laughs about it. We got people walking the road 24/7.
Our teleport's not like that.
Huh?
We have the same people, they've been there for years. We don't have
Right.
that.
But we got more problems on these Ferry Road than the trailer park, because Mark Moon can't stay down here 24 hours, 7 days a week. And they come up in my yard, my brother spent, how much you think he spent, Sue? $8,000, $10,000? Just had a whole new camera system put in. You know why? Because they're slipping away, trying to sleep in his barn, and they're trying to steal everything we got. But nobody wants to mention that. You call the sheriff department, and they doing a good job. How many of y'all know they doing a good job? They doing a good job. But they can't be everywhere at the same time. I know that. But we need to work on that right up here in Caroline right now. Well, Caroline Church. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Been in and out of jail, and somebody, every time they put him in jail, they get him out within 2 hours. Y'all can't help that. We can't help that. But we can help put a stop to it by calling and trying to get rid of it.
Mayor, I've had an $800 generator stolen 2 months ago under my window in my front yard. I'm 1,800 feet off the road. I've got, I was in my park and 3 people that live in the trailer park at the 4-way had stolen my air conditioner out of one of my units that my grandson owns. And I chased them. They threw it down, and it's a big old air conditioner, and they threw it down in the woods, and then they ran. Nothing was done. I mean, they were gone.
They're done by the time the police get
You know, and I don't know them. I don't have any dealing. I don't know them. They look like little pygmies, but they ran like they were Olympians.
We tried to shoot up in the air before because they tried to attack me and my son. Because they were squatting in a building that we had.
Yeah.
People over there.
Something's gonna happen, and I mean, you know, but the thing of this is not
This is,
a solution. This is gonna be a bigger problem. There's another trailer park out here, do you know that? Daniel, what's his name?
He thought he was his license.
Yeah.
He thought he was his license.
Yeah, he's got
He's
some.
underpinning.
So there's,
His is gonna be underpinning.
but let's just say, Lacey, there's 1, 2, 3 trailer parks here, is that correct?
Well,
That's 4. What is?
Coppersville, at the 4-way, and then yours.
What's that down there on Dean's Ferry on the left, that bunch of junk down there on the left?
That's John's.
I know,
Yeah.
but.
that's same as that one there. same.
I mean, they would consider that the same, cause you got
Yeah.
that one,
Right.
out of the same one part.
But it is making a haven for people to come and congregate and feed, and they come here and they're checking out houses, but I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna make you a promise. I'm not gonna make you a promise. In 18 months, if something's not done for the drugs, people walking up and down the road and the things, you are gonna be victims. Cause they looking for easy money. And they're not gonna work.
No, it's not far from where.
It's not far.
Walking distance.
Yep. And you don't think they get out in your woods and look around your place?
Walk
You're
around your
wrong.
property, you'll see watered out spots where they sit and watch.
That's right.
I've done counts.
They watch lots of houses.
4 hours.
And I will just about guarantee some of y'all been watched. And they think there's $100 bills on all of your floors. So it's coming. We're dealing with it now, but it's coming.
But a lot of these people live in the woods.
Well, that's right.
They're not living in the trailer
But
parks, they're
they're-
living in the woods and they're growing their stuff.
Yeah, they're.
Because they're walking the roads in the middle of the night. And they're
Early in the
living
morning.
between,
Just outside.
they're living in behind you, Malcolm, aren't they in the woods?
The
And I've heard this from
roundabout
Blount
You
County
know what I
Sheriff.
seen the other day? I just gonna be honest with you. I seen two boys and a girl go across the woods and I followed them on some black people's property. When I got over, you know what they do?
Yep. Needles everywhere.
The black boy and the
Well,
white.
They're somewhere
They told
between
me-
us and the river
They
too.
told me, look, they told me this, they said, if I business, leave us alone, or we're gonna take you off of that tractor.
Wow.
And I told them,
Yeah,
they didn't have no right to take me off my tractor, but I had a right to stop that drug deal. They went running towards Sue's trailer park. I know where they come, I know where they went. They didn't go up in there because I followed them. Then the other morning, at 2:30 in the morning, pow, 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 pow.
Yeah.
Guns going off. We got up, went outside to see what's going on. They were shooting and setting off fireworks at 2:30 in the morning.
And they're in the woods, they're not living anywhere.
Call the law, they come down there, how they get down here, like I say, they can't be everywhere at the same time. And I know this. Cause they've been robbing on Pine Mountain, they've been robbing in Red Valley, they've been robbing in Lopesport, and I got people all over the county. And it's a sad situation. But when they keep shooting and get me up at 2:30 in the morning, keep me awake half the night, that ain't good on my part. I like to sleep every now and then.
Well, I think if the police car goes to a place, just every weekend 6 or 7 times, that's an abatement and a nuisance.
But I would like to ask y'all, like
Well, that's
to
what I
ask
was
one
gonna say, maybe
question.
a better avenue would be to set up some kind of neighborhood watch.
But it says, traffic got a full-time police now. You know that?
Hmm.
Yeah, they got a full-time police. He's a ex-military man. A real nice gentleman, okay? Since they got a little spill of traffic up there on Dean Street Road, he can come up there, but he says he got to have permission to county line to do anything in county line.
That's right.
Okay?
No.
Huh?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he
That
does.
is wrong. That is wrong.
He-
Right by the left of my house is all in traffic.
That's right.
But my point would be, why can't, I'm gonna say, why can't some of y'all on the council, you, talk to the mayor, try to say, look, can we not hire y'all to patrol
No.
our place maybe 2 or 3 nights a week on the
Don't let them
weekends or
do it,
something like
Barry.
that?
That's state law. Pink Rock tried that.
But now,
Don't let them do it. Pink Rock tried that with another little town in the legislature.
I know we got totally off subject of trailers, but now, this is what I've heard. That Warrior, Trafford, Morris, Kimberly, they've got what they call the North Jefferson Union. And all their municipalities, so if something happens in Kimberly, Warrior can come. If something happens in Morris, Warrior can come. Trafford can come. I don't know with y'all not having a patrol car or a police department per se, if you could be included on the Jefferson County side of the line of that.
Mitchell, by law, Jefferson County is our police department.
Mhm.
We don't have one. And the mayor oversees that, and then Blount County part, they have to come in and be our police department.
Okay.
That's a law.
But didn't y'all give them a key, don't y'all,
They have access to the town hall
yeah.
when they're in this area.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I seen them parked out here at times at Jefferson County.
Mhm. Yeah, we've made that available to both Jefferson and Blount County.
Well, I'm glad you did, okay, that's a good move,
Yeah, that's real good.
Absolutely.
but.
Yeah, the little snacks and stuff over there are for the deputies, and there's cold drinks in there for them. So yeah, we encourage them to come use it.
Right.
So,
But
Yeah.
this thing on Dean's Ferry Road, it ain't getting no better.
mhm.
Not since somebody put about 4 trailers down there and they can't get no water, no nothing else.
But
Yeah,
then
that-
what was you saying?
Let me ask you.
Not in y'all's territory.
I know there's been a couple of, comments about, well, one of the things that we're trying to do is to clean up some of the parks.
Sure.
Okay. Sue's Park, I have never considered a problem. I've not heard of any problems in that park. But the other, the corner, the four-way stop in Cobbers Hill is the root of all the problems. And it's either, we're going to do some kind of mobile home ordinance of some kind, or we're going to come in with a nuisance ordinance. A nuisance ordinance is not going to be directed at those that are working on cars or have cars in the yard. I don't care about that. But hazards to the public. That's what I consider a nuisance. This old abandoned house is a nuisance to the community. So you have a partially deconstructed house, mobile home on one of your lots. That I consider as a nuisance.
That's the nuisance right there.
This stuff here is a nuisance. And that I want to pursue. But I do think we need some kind of mobile home ordinance, maybe not as restrictive as this. But I think we do have it, and I am going to require skirting. I don't care. The town will require skirting on all mobile homes, period.
It's just not for looks neither, though, and that helps insulate your pipe, your
Yeah.
rusted
Mhm.
pipes and all that, plus it looks a lot better.
Oh, yeah, I mean, but that, as a minimum, would be our mobile home. That's the minimum that,
And they all
We'll
need to
have-
have numbers on.
And-
They should have numbers.
Police.
they have to have, these are some of the minimum requirements that I am going to seek. We may do away with all the other stuff. Minimum skirting, minimum aseptic tank on a trailer, not joint trailers on a septic tank.
Right.
And so that's a minimum standard, just those two things. Sanitary, and it looks good. It's not an eyesore. But,
And no dogs.
I will never support a bill for no dogs on anything.
All right, so.
Me neither, but they do need to be kept up.
So
Yeah.
really, I mean, seriously, let's write down the skirting, let's write down, what else was it?
Septic tank.
Numbers on that is numbers.
Yes.
They reflect.
And I need to do that
Selective
myself, I'm guilty of my own self, I don't have numbers on
You got enough feet for that.
it.
And
But now, really do, the nuisance law, that's there.
okay,
I mean, really.
but
And
last time we mentioned nuisance law, we had a similar turnout. It never went anywhere. Because my nuisance ordinance can be abused. And I'll just say that right up front.
Sure.
One can be abused if it's written wrong.
Right.
But one of the criteria for a nuisance is a public hazard, in my opinion. And partially deconstructed mobile home is a hazard, a public hazard. An abandoned house with weeds 10 feet tall is a public hazard. So, and one other thing that a minimum would be required in a mobile home park is identification, lot identification
Well, that's.
for first responders, yeah.
Reflective
So-
numbers.
So anyway, so again, this is, we're in the discussion stage right now. And believe me, we will take all your comments into consideration in moving forward with this. Next month, we'll see how it looks. But we will have more discussions.
Okay.
I don't anticipate this ever coming up for a vote until probably after the first of the year, because we've still got a lot of talking to do on
Okay.
this.
And I can't remember, guys, I've been wondering if did I tell you about the inheritance? That if my child inherits my trailer park, she has to bring it to code. She will no longer be grandfathered in. Is that what that's saying?
That's the way it's written right now, but again, that's open for discussion.
Okay.
Now, this would apply for any new mobile home parks after this is passed, but and we have to look at that. We have to look at the wording on that.
If somebody came in after all, let's just say all this passes and all, they wanted to put in a 300-unit park, would that be something y'all would consider?
If they meet the code. I mean, it's a new mobile home park. We want it,
You want
quite like,
to-
we want it to elevate we want to elevate the community. And if somebody wants to build a mobile home park, we would like to have it going forward from the very beginning, a high end, or one that we would be glad to have. I won't say high end, but
I thought it was made years ago that there was to be no more trailer parks in county. Was it not? Is that not
That
something
was
y'all put
supposed,
in?
that.
I don't know.
One ever put in here.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Ours is grandfathered in, there was to be no more.
Yeah, and when that one was put in 25 years ago, that's when I moved over there, so
That was the last
that was supposed to be the last one.
if it's I don't recall seeing an ordinance on it.
Right.
Doesn't mean that it hadn't been one passed in the past,
Yeah.
but if it's not in the book in there,
Either between you
I
and
think
Mayor.
I got that ordinance.
I believe it
It
was.
was passed when I was mayor, I think I got that ordinance.
I forgot about that, but I think that's right.
okay. I don't recall ever reading it, and I'll have to go back through the ordinance book to see if I can find it, but I don't recall reading that. So, but that doesn't mean anything. What I read yesterday, I don't remember today. So, all right. Do we have any other questions or comments on the proposed mobile home ordinance at this time? Okay.
Can you talk about nuisance, really?
Well, that's something that we can certainly go forward with. I don't have anything in front of me to establish or to start with, but at the next meeting, I can have a rough, again, an initial draft of a nuisance ordinance.
So that, I think that would be a very smart thing. to
Look
do.
under abatement issue too, it'd be nuisance and abatement,
Mhm.
abatement.
Yeah, abatements.
I mean, I really think that'd be good. These backpackers, my daughter calls them backpackers, she works at Dollar General, and she says she works well.
Yeah.
Because they just rob everything and everybody.
Well, that a nuisance ordinance, just for example, the abandoned house up there, we could go in and cut the grass, cut everything down, and then put a lien on the property to recover the cost. And if need be, we can condemn the house if the action's not taken.
Well, would the city, would the town condemn it, or would you have to get an outside source to do that?
The town, it's in town limits,
Well, the floors, there are no floors, they brought it out.
Been there for 15 years.
And there's holes in the top.
but I mean, that's just an eyesore for, that's one of the other eyesores in County Line, in my opinion, is that old abandoned house.
And that abandoned trailer up there too, the front yard's cut, but the backyard's nutted. It's just growing up right there on the corner and the curb.
Okay,
It's abandoned, I mean, they had nobody lived there in a year or so.
Been longer than that, yeah.
Has it, well,
okay. All right, yes, we will be addressing the nuisance ordinance in the future. Like I said, I just don't have anything right now. I was talking to the attorney today about that, so I'll try to have something rough for next council meeting. All right. Any other questions or comments on the issue at hand?
I would just like to say that I, for one, I do appreciate you guys, and I feel like your heart's in the right place, I do. But I just think you need to look at the big overall picture of what you're looking at. And I do, like I said, I know every one of your heart's in the right place. But just consider all this stuff, and I believe you will, and we can come to a good, I tell y'all, we wouldn't agree on everything, we disagree, but we come to a compromise. So that's what I think we need to do. But we do have that problem, and that's the really main problem we've got in county, is this. And, well, we got, I guess, Mayberry had Otis, we got the, so anyway, moving on.
All right, well, I do appreciate everybody's input and your enthusiasm towards it. That's why I was not in any rush to rush this through, because I knew it was going to bring some attention to it. So that's fine. That's fine. I have no objections to that. And we do try to listen to our public. So.
Right, what time you talk about youth supply? Come up with one, put it on there. You charge people for so many times to share the proper culture and place. And they go to that other part, they do that 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I don't know how you will handle that, okay?
I don't know that we could bill for another agency's work. But yeah, that's yeah. Stu, what would you think of being forced to pay fire dues for your trailer park? What would you think of that, being required to pay fire dues for your park? Okay, I mean, I know you do.
Yeah, the ones I pay, but only I pay $20.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm there, I don't know.
Just rent a lot.
Hmm?
So just rent a lot.
Yeah, I just rent lots.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just something we thought about, and so anyway, anything else on?
But would I have to be responsible for collection? No. So that's my deal, is the collection.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have to collect it from? And Sean wanted me to tack it on to the rent. It's hard enough to get rent, not rental.
pay their budget. I give them free garbage in one, so that's about all I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the other things I thought about is garbage service. It's the trailer park. You provide it for yours, but, I don't know about the others.
I have, but I don't ever use the others.
Anyway, it's just more random thoughts. So, all right, that's all I have. The last item I had on this agenda. Is there any questions or comments on any other thing? I need to backtrack just a second. Council, I'm sorry. I had a couple of items I wanted to bring to your attention. We did get an invoice from Blount County for mowing, and that's what I was asking Commissioner Washburn about, exactly where was this mowing taking place that we're getting charged for. But the bill was $766.50.
Where did they know? He noticed that this was done on the top of the
He thought it was, but
They did go down the Cobb.
recently,
They did go down the Cobb, forward.
okay. That may have been what that charge is for.
Huh?
Yeah, well, that's,
I don't know, all I know is when crap is grew out there and it's almost cracking your vehicle, then you go down through there and it's cut back, you can't help but notice. Now, whether it took them 5 minutes, I'm at work.
that's government estimates. All right, and the other thing I had is I'm not going to, I want to mention it to you, I'll bring it up again in the next meeting. Blount County is soliciting donations for the Animal Adoption Center again, based on our $2 a person, but again, it's based on, the amount is based on the total population of County Line, not Blount County South. So, Lucy, let me give this back to you and tell them it's not $516. You don't have 256 people in Blount County. 156 would be more appropriate. Until we get the next census. Hold on to that until he notifies us what the invoice is for. I'm sorry?
When they're gonna start coming and picking up dogs in our neighborhood, we're gonna pay that.
Sure.
population of county.
Oh, well.
Wait a second.
Population in county.
I'm sorry.
Population of county.
Oh, population of county line, I'm sorry. My hearing aids are in and I still can't understand.
That's okay.
The 256 on the, from the, 2010 census population of the county line was 256. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody did fill out their census report this year, didn't they? Okay. Yeah. All right. And one last comment that I'm gonna make before conclude our business. Last year, or this past fiscal year, we did submit an application to FEMA for a community safe room. Unfortunately, we were not selected for further consideration. Well, the new fiscal year's application opens up the end of this month, and we will be applying again for a community safe room. Last year, our application was based on a design for a domed round building. But, you know, that was not necessarily a cause of us not being selected. We don't know why we weren't selected. They just didn't disclose that information. Anyway, we're resubmitting this year, and there's a copy of the new design is on the bulletin board back there. It's going to be a traditional rectangular building, but it will be large enough to house or hold 256 people. But anyway, it's posted on the back wall, and Mr. Lee of Lee Consulting is still working with us on that. He's doing all this work, and the architect doing the work for us at no cost until we, and when we are selected for a grant, then they will get paid the customary fees. But they both done a lot of work in preparing this for us. Anyway, take a look at it, see what you think about it. It will serve as a community safe room and a town hall. We'll see how it goes this year. We'll keep applying until they say yes. But we are at an advantage this year. We do get a 5-point edge because our median income for the County line is below the national average. Yeah. So anyway, just want to let everybody know that we're going to try it again, and we certainly appreciate the work that both the architect and Mr. Lee have put forth in this effort. Yeah. All right, that's all I have. The council have anything?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I want to appreciate everybody.
Yes, yeah, I do appreciate everybody showing up tonight. You're all welcome. I haven't forgot. I'll get back to you in a second. Anything else on the floor? All right, I have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn. Merle made the motion. Steve seconded. All in favor? All right, motion carried. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.